Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 now. So today we're still on the computer. I was going to do something on my camera, but I decided, actually I didn't decide. I kind of like stumbled into a video and I started watching it on YouTube as I was kind of searching for ideas for transitions. It's like right before I typed in the like cool transition or like cool camera movement like search thing on YouTube. I literally saw it on my feed because I'm looking up all this color grading stuff. I found another color grading tutorial that I watched, really enjoyed. So we're gonna go ahead and do a color grade, and it's actually very similar to our last color grade, but accomplished in a different way, a way that's a little bit more smooth, in my opinion. This is actually the guy Denver Riddle. He's the guy I actually learned color grading from, and it kind of got my video career started with his courses. He was like one of the first courses I bought to start learning. I don't know why I wanted to learn color grading. I was like, once I found out what color grading was, I was like, that's cool. I want to learn that. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't taken his DaVinci Resolve course. I took his Premiere Pro course because I started in Premiere Pro. So maybe I'll buy his DaVinci Resolve course because I have been such a fan, and I've really liked his look in some aspects. I feel like it's a little bit darker, a little bit more moody than the other one. And I mean, I didn't do the other one fully yesterday on day 2. So if you go back and watch day 2, I didn't do that one fully. I did like a halfway there. If I did that one fully, it would have been very dark, very moody. And I just feel like the skin tones, like remember the skin tones being that issue? Well, this one is a little more subtle, and like that was like desaturating the whole image. But this one is actually like desaturating it. Like you can desaturate it, but still gonna retain some of its saturation and look a little bit more natural. And that was my biggest complaint yesterday, was like it doesn't look as natural. That's exactly what I was saying. And Denver Riddle's video shows a great method. It looks definitely, I would say it definitely looks little blah blah blah. It definitely looks a little bit more natural. So yeah, let's dive right in. So let's go on the computer. Put myself in the little corner. Other corner. There's no good corners. Okay, I'm gonna be in this corner right here. So I might take it off as we're looking at the image and stuff like that. So, but yeah, let's look at it. So I got a log image here. So actually, this is a more similar. I don't know if it's the same shot as the last one. I think it is. And then I've got, this is from yesterday. So I do go back in this grade. I'm like, this looks pretty good. But when I did it like on other stuff, like this is me playing around afterwards. I was kind of, I don't know what I was doing over here. I was not a huge fan of this look. So, and this is the new look. So if you look at the shadows, way darker. They're almost like crushed. I could bring those up though, if I didn't like them being that low, and that might look all right. So let's just bring them up. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad actually. If you go like right about there. And then Denver Riddle, I basically followed his procedure. So these are all my normal corrections. This is my LUT on the end there. I pretty much followed all his stuff, but he did like did a radius thing, a detail right here, this blur. So he did some like blur with the radius, where I tried that, didn't like it very much because I like my image to be a little bit, I don't know, it just didn't look right to me. So I did some glow instead. So the glow really, I feel like really adds to it. But I mean, if I get rid of, like, that's different. So you can't disable this node. You wanna know why? Because it's a layer mixer right here. And I'll go into that in the video. So like, if you look at that, it almost looks like what the heck happened to the correction? Like, why does it look so flat? But if you go into effects here, and we just did this, disable the glow, totally different effect here. It just darkens the image a little bit and like gets rid of that glow effect, right? So, but yeah, let's dive in and actually do it on another clip. I don't know if I shot a wedding on like a field like this, I don't think I would use this, this color grade right here. So I would use probably, something more similar to this. Maybe not even as contrasty, honestly. I don't like those hard shadows. But here's one, I haven't even tried grading it yet. So we're gonna go through it together and grade it. So I think the contrasting look will look pretty good in this one. It could overdo it right here in the foliage, but I think it's gonna look good. And the reason why is because it's gonna be we're shooting directly in the sun, and when we shoot directly in the sun, it gets rid of some contrast. It kind of gives like a hazy look to it, right? So we'll see. I guess we'll take a look. Again, I'm just now learning this look, so it's kind of like I'm relearning wow, words are hard. I'm relearning the look from yesterday, but not really. It's a different way of approaching it. So I thought it was really cool, and I was like, all right, this could count. This could count. But tomorrow I will maybe try to get away from editing a little bit. I feel like a lot of this is gonna be editing, but I'll try to get away from it a little bit. So, all right. So I'm gonna add my LUT, which is gonna be, it was shot in A7 III and S-Log 3. And I like to do my neutral one. It's gonna be a good starting point. I feel like the LUT, though, for some reason, makes everything pretty blue for the most part. So we'll probably have to correct that. But so I'm gonna hit options. That was a Shift S, Options S, Options S. Skip kind of my normal layout here. So this first node is typically gonna be my exposure node. And then we have white balance. Ugh. Putting the wrong keys over here. Put a marker down. And then this one's typically my contrast. I need to probably look at new node structures. That could be a whole video right there, is me looking at new ways to structure the nodes. And then we're gonna go over again. And then we're gonna do secondary. This is like my skin tones, or like, I typically separate secondary and skin tones with a parallel node, and I do secondary and I do skin tones as a separate one, but it's secondary is just whatever else I need to be correcting second after the primaries. And we're gonna do the look right here. Okay. So most of the look will be done on this node right here, but we need to add a layer mixer so that we can, I'll show you in a sec here, so we can change our composite mode. I mean, you can do that now within the node, but I'm not super familiar with that, and I don't think it does quite the same things as layer mixer, because watch what we're about to do here. Oops, that could have stayed in there. So we're going to connect to the bottom here with this bottom one. This top one needs to actually run into this one and the top of this. Okay, nothing has changed really, right? Let's go in the composite mode, and you want to go down to soft light, and we're going to see the image darken quite a bit. So soft light, boom, darkened. So I'm actually going to take myself off the screen so you guys can see my full screen. And I'm on a mark right now, so let me just move slightly. There we go. Okay. It's super dark though, so I don't know if I like that about the image when we did that. Let me actually disable both of these though, because actually I haven't even done my base color correction. So let's do that real quick. So yeah, don't forget to do your base color correction. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a little more warm. I think that's the way to go. Kind of looking at the dirt. The dirt's a good way to really see that magenta and or the green. I'm feeling that looks pretty good in white balance. I don't have a great spot for white balance. What I could do though is I could go to this vector scope and just kind of make sure it's generally in the center right here. A lot of people even grab this offset and they'll just like move it around. Yeah, that even looks better. Let's go with that. So if we turn off this, we'll just kind of compare before. Yeah, it was super green before. And I feel like that's LUT does it all the time. I was around a ton of green foliage, so that makes perfect sense. But now we got to go back to exposure. So if I had my normal computer, I'd have all these scopes up on the side. I feel like everything looks pretry good. I might increase the lift, but drop the shadows down just a little bit, just to kind of make some more true blacks. But I mean, once we get in that look, you'll see it'll completely change it, and then we're actually going to drag our gamma up and take the gain down quite a bit, soften out some of these highlights there. All right, I'm liking kind of where we're at right now. So let's go right into the look. Contrast actually looks pretty good, and again, we're about to add a ton of contrast, so it doesn't matter too much on the contrast. If they were closer, I'd probably be checking their skin tones with like a secondary node or my skin tone node, which I'll add in typically as a parallel. So let's add both those guys back in. So first off, right off the bat, you're gonna see that it's pretty dark. So what I saw Denver Riddle doing was he brought the lift up. He's like, I didn't want to bring it up a whole lot, but I actually kind of like it. My image is just a little bit brighter. The reason I'm doing this look is not for the dark contrasty look, because this is like this is a couple the morning of their wedding day, right? So I was shooting their wedding, and we went on a hike the morning before their wedding. So, and I just filmed that to add to the video and stuff. So, yeah, we don't want to. You could keep that darker if you want. It's up to you. So then the next thing is kind of what we did yesterday, where we did. If you didn't watch that video, then basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab skin tones. So very small there. I know where the skin tones kind of lay. So our oranges, so we're going to go out from the oranges quite a bit. I kind of go into the yellows maybe. That's kind of where I think I saw Denver Riddle do that too. But I like some reds in my image, so I'm actually going to start dropping more into the magentas right here. So if you go way far down, you'll see the effect quite significantly. I'm not actually surprised. So we're mainly affecting the shadows. So I bet you if I drop this exposure down in this lift, wow, it's actually not. So maybe we grabbed too many of the yellows. That's what I'm thinking now. So let's go. Oh, we didn't grab enough of the yellows is what I meant. There we go. It's more what I'm looking for. But I still like some of that orange hue to it, right? And then also he grabbed some of the lumas. So he grabbed like skin tone luma and then dropped that down. So with DaVinci Resolve, the luma does not do a whole lot. Like in Premiere Pro, I could like distort my image and it would look awful. But Resolve, I can look how much I can drop that down by, and it still looks pretty good. But that's also the problem, because we want to drop the luma and the greens. So what I saw Denver Riddle doing is you'd go into here, and then he would actually grab the greens when he was in this. So he had auto lock on, and then he made sure this was also on 8 points, so it gives you more points, right? So then he grabbed the greens, and then he would drag down here. See how much, like just a little movement can do a lot with this feature. I don't know. I wasn't too big of a fan of that, and now I'm getting a lot of blue cast in my image, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So there's a lot of ways I could get rid of that blue cast. So what's first off, just check out our curves and go back to the hue over saturation and maybe just drop it. I'm gonna do much. So maybe this would be a scenario where we go and do like a look adjustment node. So if I go like Options S on this right here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. I could definitely get rid of the saturation on those if I just expand that so it's a little bit smoother. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of how you accomplish the look. Super easy, super clean, not very hard, wasn't super complicated by any means. There's a lot I would do, a lot I would probably change and add on to. I'm still debating if I like the look or not, but yeah, I mean, that's the majority of the look. So there's one more thing. Denver Riddle actually went over to the sharpness over here, and he actually just took away some sharpness in this last node here to kind of give it a more dreamy look. So if we turn that, let's just toggle this on, off. Oh, you can't do that. You had to do the actual, so I'll just turn it off here. So you can see gets rid of some of that sharpness. I wasn't a huge fan of that. So what I ended up doing is I went to effects, typed in glow from like the video yesterday where we used glow instead, which I really liked. But when we go in here, we got to remember, right? So we want to take the shine threshold down. And then we also want to get rid of our saturation, which is right here. And we want to change this soft light. So it's going to be a lot better of a glow there. And then we can adjust this spread, right? So like if we want to really like make it some things pop. Like look at the branch over here, right? So if you want to make that pop, bring that down. Or you could bring it up a little bit if you wanted a little bit more of that hazy kind of look. So let's just play through the clip now, since we're pretty much done here. It might be kind of laggy because that's all right. They're also in slow motion. Like slowed the clip down. I should have just kept it at normal speed. I don't want you guys to see all my shakiness, handheld movements. And that was the clip from yesterday. I might actually be leaning more that direction, but there might be a way I can combine the two of them. And I might even just play around with this look right here, this top node. And I wonder if I did the corrections down here, if we would have seen a difference there. So like, let's just see if I drag it over there, right? So let's get rid of the glow in here. So let's reset this node. And then we're just gonna hit options. Oops. You don't hit options, hit command. I always forget that. Options will copy it, command will shift it over. So I'm gonna say like an opposite effect almost, right? Still darken that image. I feel like it increased. Let's do it one more time. It almost like increase the saturation of it. I think because that layer, how we have that layer node set up. I don't know. I gotta play with this now. I'm curious. So maybe that's something I do another day. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for today, honestly. That's kind of what I was messing around with. I mean, this is like me literally learning. Like, I literally learned this like 5 minutes before I shot this video. So hopefully I can kind of perfect it and see where I can kind of go with this idea. And kind of mess around with like this deep saturated look, or maybe I don't want to go that way. I wanted to create a very moody look for some of my weddings, but then I also wanted a very clean cut look that created. What I like about it is the contrast aspect of it, but it's a little bit too dark. So I mean, what I could do is bring up the shadows potentially, and that could. The lift of the shadows, and that could help maybe. I don't know. So that's overall kind of where I wanted to go with that. But yeah, that's day 3. So that's all I got. The next couple days, I'll try to do something outside of, especially outside of color grading, outside of editing. So just I had a limited amount of time, so I couldn't really go out and shoot stuff. And there's not a whole lot to shoot besides my inside of my house because it's freezing out or it's completely dark by the time I get home. So it'll be dark tomorrow when I get home, but I'll try to shoot something maybe like at a break at work or something. So since I work with cameras. But yeah, that's it for today. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.